Hey everybody, I guess we can call this Keep It Out My Face Part 2. This is a good topic and I want to get deeper off into it. I did get 2 video responses, surprisingly both from men, both disagreeing with me, which I was surprised, but okay. I noticed the video response from Pink Elephant just as I was sitting down to make this recording, so I'll try to address some of his points as well as the other video response. First thing I want to say that stuck out to me from Pink Elephant's video is that by no means am I giving advice, because in my video I asked the question, are you an Ellen Woods or are you a Carmella? Each individual person knows how they feel about their mate doing this or that. By no means is there a universal way that everybody's going to feel about their mate sleeping with somebody else. So there's no way I can give you or anybody else advice about what they should do if this happens to them. So really, I was just putting a question out there. It was by no means advice. First thing I'll bring up is that I'm talking about being married to your average male, not a man whore. There's a difference between taking a sip of alcohol every now and again and being an alcoholic. I'm not talking about somebody with a sex addiction. And let's just reestablish some facts. According to statistics, 80% of men cheat and 60% of women cheat. That is most people. So ladies, a lot of you who are listening to this video right now, your husband or boyfriend or whatever man you got in your life, he's gonna cheat on you at some point in your relationship. And I know you're singing the Linda Ronstadt song, "Oh No Not My Baby," but statistically, most of you are gonna be cheated on. Now, you may never learn of it, but that doesn't mean it didn't happen. I'll reiterate the fact that cheating doesn't necessarily mean sex, but let's just put it this way. They're doing something that they wouldn't do if you were in the room with them. Another fact, there is no type of woman that does not get cheated on. Okay? Christian women get cheated on. Beautiful women get cheated on. Rich women get cheated on. Educated women get cheated on. There's no way that you can say 100%, I know my man ain't never gonna touch another woman as long as we're married. Lots of great men have cheated on their wives. Martin Luther King was said to have had multiple affairs on his wife. Now I know some people are saying, well, I think that's just people trying to slander his character, but is it really that hard to believe? When you're a powerful, important man like he was, women are going to throw themselves at you, or at least make themselves available. So is it true? Well, I don't know for a fact because I wasn't there to see it. I wasn't even born then, but it wouldn't be hard for me to believe. Bill Cosby cheated on his wife. There was a chick who came up a few years ago claiming to be his daughter. They tested her and they found out that she wasn't, but still he admitted to having slept with her mother. I don't care how good and holy your man is, all it takes is the right chick at the wrong time and ba-boom. It's not always a situation where he even went out looking to have an affair. Sometimes someone can just catch you at a weak point. That's real life, folks. You're not going to be perfect all the time. And for those of you who are Christians, you definitely know that. The Bible says all have sinned and come short of the glory of God. The interesting thing is that when people speak of cheating, they always say, oh, well, you could have stopped yourself. You could have controlled yourself. Well, hell, any sin that you commit, you could have stopped yourself, but you didn't. Cheating is no different. And especially when we're dealing with something that's just a basic human urge to be sexual, then people are going to mess up. Yes, they can stop themselves, but they won't always do it. Just like any other sin that you commit. As a person, as a human being, you know you're going to do things that are wrong. Yes, things that you could have stopped yourself from doing. Why is cheating excluded from that? Now, I totally understand why people put cheating up on this extra high pedestal of things that you absolutely just not supposed to do and there's no excuse for it and you need to be able to stop yourself. And that's because of the effects it can have on other people in your life. But barring that, it really isn't any different than any other sin in the sense that you're supposed to be able to stop it better than other sins. So what I'm doing is I am recognizing that people will sin. And it's not always because they're monsters, sometimes they just get caught up. I am also recognizing that men cheat, regardless of how good their woman is and regardless of how good they are. So all I'm saying is, if you absolutely have to have it, maybe I don't like it, but at least don't fuck me up with it. Don't fuck up our home life, don't fuck up your children's lives. Make sure that that chick is the only one who gets fucked. That's all I'm saying. If you see that as condoning, then okay, fine. But having a no tolerance policy for your man isn't going to stop him from cheating. Just know that. Okay, now I want to address something that Pink Elephant said in his video. Okay, now I want to clear up something that Pink Elephant said in his video. He said something like, and I don't remember exact words, but he said, you know, biology isn't an excuse for men cheating. Well, actually, I didn't even talk about biology. I talked about statistics. Statistics tell us what's happening. 80% of men cheat. The biology excuse tells us why 80% of men cheat. That's two different things. What's happening and why it's happening is two different things. I'm looking at the facts. 80% of men cheat. So looking at that, I know that it's not realistic to marry Tom today in 2009, fast forward 40 years into the future, and think that he ain't touched nan other female in them whole 40 years. We as human beings throughout our lives have so many people come in and out of our lives, come in contact with so many people and put in so many different situations. You're going to come across people who are at least going to tempt you. You don't cease to be human just because you got a ring on your finger. And again, you might not even necessarily be looking for an affair. It just might be a certain person comes to your life and you get put in a certain position and you get caught up. I'm just saying, if something happens, be responsible with it and keep it out of my face. And you may say, oh, well, that's giving him license to cheat. He doesn't need a license to cheat. Of the 80% of men who cheat, they don't all have Carmela wives at home. I would venture to say that most of them have Ellen Woods wives. And those are women who would be highly pissed if they found out their husband was cheating and might even be threatening to divorce or leave. Carmelas aren't the only ones who get cheated on. So don't think that your stance on the issue is going to keep your man from cheating. What we're really talking about is the response you have if you find out that your man has cheated. So, if you're a woman who has a zero tolerance policy for cheating, what are you going to do if you find out he has cheated? Are you going to leave him or what? And this is where I really started thinking about things and why I feel the way I feel. And again, I'm not talking about a man whore that's just fucking everything that moves. That kind of man I don't want anyway. But let's say you meet a guy, fall in love with him or whatever. You get married to him, you have a couple of kids, and maybe 10 years down the road or 6 years down the road, you find out he's had an affair. So if you already have this idea in your mind before you even knew he had an affair, that if my man cheats, I'm going to leave him, are you really ready to do that after 10 years of building wealth together, building a home together, having 2 kids together, to just up and leave? To divide your wealth in half, give a third of it to the lawyers, have your kids living with you and see their dad on the weekend, or live with the dad and see you on the weekend? If that's how you feel, fine. I'm not saying you shouldn't feel that way. That's your thing. But for me, it's not that serious. I'm not trying to divide my wealth that I built for 10 years with my husband in half. I'm not trying to split up my family. It's just not that serious. Now, I'm not saying we wouldn't have to talk some things out. Like somebody left a comment like that on my video, my previous video. We probably would sit down and have a serious talk. But my man would have to do something pretty fucked up. And, you know, I choose a man very carefully. You have to do something pretty foul for me to be talking about leaving him. And cheating just isn't that for me. If cheating is your threshold, if that's where you draw the line, then hey, sister, do you. But I'm just not prepared to break up my whole family over a fling my husband had. Again, if he got chicks coming out the woodwork, that's one thing. But a man who may get another woman every now and again, break my family up over that, I won't. I want my children's father in the house. I want 100% of the wealth I built with him and not 50% of it and minus the third that goes to the lawyer. I'm about keeping my family together and keeping my wealth, keeping our wealth. If you have a no tolerance policy, then you're going to have to leave, because that's what no tolerance is. It's not getting mad at him and throwing him out the house for a few months and then when you calm down, letting him back in. If you're a zero tolerance person and you find out your man has cheated, what are you going to do? See, what makes you a Carmela or an Ellen is what you do after you find out your man is cheated. It's not a stance that you have that's going to prevent your man from cheating. And you know, I'm sympathetic to what Ellen Woods must be going through right now, but did she really think Tiger Woods was never going to touch any other coochie as long as they were... Do you really? Really? Please send me a postcard from the planet you are living on, because it ain't Earth. But anyway, that's just my stance on things. Again, it's a very personal decision to make, so by no means am I trying to convince anybody, and you really can't convince anybody on this situation because it is so personal. But anyway, that's my story and I'm sticking to it. I'm going to rewatch the video responses that I got, so if there's something that wasn't addressed in this video that I feel should be, then I'll make another video. But that's it for this one.